Hi everyone, today I'm going to talk about staying motivated because motivation is something we all struggle with or lose or lack at certain points, whatever it is we're wanting to be motivated by. There are certain things that I've learned over the years and just little tips and tricks that have really helped me stay motivated even on those days. The first thing I want to talk about is developing internal motivation and appreciating internal motivation versus external motivation. We often seek external motivation, so we're watching motivational videos on YouTube or Facebook, we might be listening to podcasts, we might be browsing Instagram looking at people we want to be or whatever lifestyles we want to live on Pinterest, or those things that you see and you want it, or you use it as fuel for your goals and what you want to do. And those things can be so beneficial in the right context, and we all appreciate and can benefit from those types of external motivation as long as they're in a healthy capacity, as long as we're not comparing ourselves to other people. But I want to talk about internal motivation because for me, internal motivation is the long-lasting key to staying motivated for life, because it's all about what is inside of you and what you think and what you feel about your goals. So you might or might not have heard of people talking about your why, and this basically is the why behind what you want to achieve. And your why isn't to look good on Instagram or isn't to be that person. Your why is usually something much deeper and more meaningful. So it could be something to do with wanting to support your family, wanting to be there for your family and be a good role model, wanting to make an impact in the world, wanting to help other people. There are so many different reasons that are driving you every single day. And recognise the things that are important to you in life and use those things as internal motivation on those days where you don't want to get out of bed because it really helps to think of that thing. So for example, it might sound really silly, but for me, like, building a business is about building a life and being independent and being able to build a life with my partner and be able to live together and buy a house one day. I definitely want it to be that 50-50 split. I never want to have to rely on someone else. That independence really drives me, and I know it does for so many other people. So really get down to the nitty-gritty of those specific things about you and why you want to be successful, knowing that, writing it down, journaling about it, even writing it on a big piece of paper and sticking it by your bed so you can read it and be reminded of it every day, even on those days where you feel like crap. That is such a huge thing. And literally comparing myself to someone on Instagram pales in comparison to that. There is no motivation like it when you realise your purpose in life, I guess, and the true things that you want out of life. Which leads me on really nicely, randomly, coincidentally, to my second point, which is to stop comparing yourself to other people. Because I know that my motivation actually plummets when I am comparing myself to other people. I am someone who practices self-development and honestly I truly try to understand myself, the good and the bad, and I like to recognise when I have those feelings of comparison and that feeling of envy or bitterness or jealousy or resentment towards someone else for being more successful than you, being richer than you, whatever it might be. We all fall down at times and have those moments where we're just like so focused on other people that we lose sight of what's important to us and what we already have and the amazing things that we have in our lives to be grateful for already. So it's funny because sometimes we look to those external motivators and they don't actually motivate us. They make us feel like crap. They make us compare ourselves. And like I mentioned in my social media detox video, if anyone makes you feel bad and makes you compare yourself, until you're in a better state of mind, just unfollow those people. Stop comparing yourself to other people, and you will notice that your motivation is up a lot more. Because when you think about it, motivation drives productivity, and being envious and being jealous and sitting here and focusing on them rather than focusing on your own path and where you're going is never going to be a productive thing to do. My next tip is to focus more on baby steps and daily habits. This is something I'm so passionate about, but like I said in the beginning, there are always going to be those days when you're not motivated. Motivation is like a bucket with a hole in the bottom. It's going to run out. It's always going to run out. It's going to be refilled. It's going to run out again. And it's not something that is always going to be there. And accepting that and working around it is key to just staying on track. How you do that is through daily habits and baby steps. So many people are too focused on this huge goal that they get overwhelmed and they're demotivated by their own goal, which should never be a thing. So always make sure you're breaking your goal down into manageable steps. And even if I always like to track milestones and things like that monthly or weekly or whatever, but go even further than that and think about like one daily habit or task you can do day in, day out that will get you closer towards that goal. And that baby step every single day, one foot in front of the other, is how you walk that path or how you reach that destination, or whatever other cheesy quote I can think of off the top of my head. But you guys know what I mean. Those small actions repeated daily make a successful person. You don't just achieve these huge goals overnight. So stop overwhelming yourself and demotivating yourself by focusing too much on the bigger picture. Allow that to inspire you, but then always make sure you're breaking it down into those baby manageable steps. And my last tip is another one that I'm so passionate about and it's so important to me, and that is all about self-care and managing your environment to set you up in the best way possible. Things like your mood, your energy levels, your mental health, your emotional state, all those things have a direct effect on your motivation. If you're not taking time for self-care, if you're in a toxic environment, if you're using self-sabotaging like toxic behaviours to make yourself feel better or whatever, then of course you're not going to be motivated because you're not setting yourself up for success. So even though self-care and looking after yourself might not be directly related to your goal as much as you think, it actually is, and it's actually so important to make sure that you're constantly striving to become the happiest, healthiest version of yourself, like I always say. And in that, I don't mean healthy in the sense that the media portrays to us. I mean happy emotionally, mentally, as well as physically and spiritually as well. Topping up your self-care tank and just making sure you're equipping yourself with the right tools, like sleeping well, being hydrated, eating the foods that you enjoy and are right for you and make your body feel energized and healthy, and all those other things. Making sure you're surrounding yourself with positive people who are supportive. There are so many kind of umbrella topics within this, but I invite you to just think about the ones that you can focus on changing and you have the power to change and improve in your life, and just notice how much more motivation you have. Because even though it means that I have a couple less hours in my workday, getting 8 hours of sleep and having a morning routine where I have my cup of tea in bed and I read a book and I meditate for the first hour of my day, that is just huge to me, the difference it makes in my motivation. So I actually get much more work done during the day than if I had got up, completely neglected myself and smashed out loads of work just for the sake of being busy. So you guys know I'm really passionate about people looking after themselves and prioritising their own health and happiness. It's something that is really, really important to me, so I will always bring my videos back to that point. I hope you're not bored of hearing about it. If you are not bored of it, please give this video a thumbs up to let me know you enjoyed it. Let me know that it encouraged you. Leave me a comment with your thoughts on this. I would love to carry on the conversation. You can also join my email list to receive more encouraging thoughts and messages like this every single Monday morning. Please subscribe if you're new for 3 new videos every week, Wednesday, Friday and Sunday, and I will see you in my next one. Bye!